We continue our work at Ukraine Crisis Media Center, and I'll give the floor to Colonel Dmytro Hutsulyak, spokesperson of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, with information about the activities of the ministry over the last 4 days. Good morning, dear guests. On July 22nd, Ukrainian-American training Sea Breeze 2017 is over in Ukraine. The large-scale maneuvers continued since July 10th. Among the participants from 16 countries, there were more than 3,500 of servicemen, nearly 30 vessels, 22 aircrafts, nearly 100 cars and armored vehicles. The commander of Marine Forces of Ukraine, Commander Vice Admiral Igor Voronchenko, said that during this training, the forces expanded the scope of training in the sea, in the field, in the air, and underwater. One of particularities was the test of a marine operational staff that will be introduced into Ukrainian Marine Forces in the end of this year. The commander of the Marine Forces noted that Ukrainian servicemen during this training made one more important step towards better compatibility and accommodation to NATO standards. In addition, head of the maneuvers from U.S. Marine Forces, Captain of the first rank Matthew Lemon, noted that the U.S. will continue as support to their partners in the region. According to him, American Marine Forces will use every opportunity to organize common training in the Black Sea. Matthew Lemon stressed that the training was a contribution to better interaction as well as security and stability in the region. During the training Sea Breeze 2017, the servicemen traveled more than 5,000 sea miles. They had 60 common exercises, more than 850 parachute jumps, 6 assault operations. The Air Forces had more than 310 flights and spent 240 hours in flight, and divers had more than 300 diving exercises. Ukrainian paratroopers participated in live-fire training Saber Guardian 2017, which took place in the training center Chinku in Romania and continued for 2 weeks. The main objective of the training was to ensure readiness to conduct common operation for ensuring security in Euro-Atlantic region, to improve compatibility of the units and enhance military cooperation between NATO countries and Ukrainian armed forces and other partners. During this time, more than 4,000 servicemen from various countries improved their skills in attack and defense, live-fire training skills. They improved readiness for rapid response in various situations that may occur during that may happen in action. In total, within this training, the servicemen had close combat skills, live-fire training for live-fire skills in air and on the ground. They also trained to conduct positional defense, counterattacks. They trained planning skills according to NATO standards. Ukrainian paratroop squadron was included into multinational mechanized battalion, and mortar platoon was included into the multinational battalion of field artillery in order to improve the level of compatibility and to exchange experience. Two Ukrainian paratroop squadrons were included into American and Romanian mechanized squadrons, and in contrary, into the Ukrainian paratroop squadron, 2 platoons were introduced, one from the US and one from Romania. And On July 24th, two ships arrived to Odessa. This is a Royal Marine Frigate of the United Kingdom and frigate of the Marine Forces of Turkey. The commanders had a meeting with Vice Admiral of Ukrainian Marine Forces Igor Moronchenko. The sides stressed that the cooperation between the sides is very important for ensuring security on the sea and in the region in general. Within the program, there will be common trainings for servicemen on vessel survivability and maintenance. Today, on July 25, between 2 and 5 p.m., the vessels will be open for visits of the public. And in the end of this visit, the vessels of the group NATO number 2 will have PASEX training in the Black Sea. They will train to work in the multinational tactical unit according to NATO standards. The representatives of sports in the armed forces continue to show good results in various competitions. For instance, Ukrainian sportsmen participated in the Championate of Europe on shooting and trap shooting that takes place in Azerbaijan. More than 930 sportsmen from 43 countries participate there, and Ukrainian serviceman Pavlo Korostelov won in the individual classification in shooting from a small caliber pistol. He established a new record with 230 points. And in command classification, the same servicemen, and in addition, Oleg Omelchuk and Viktor Bankin won silver, and Major Natalia Kalnesh and Lesya Lesky won gold. In command classification, in a shooting from a small caliber gun for 50 meters, they have 1,832 points. In addition, in the World Championate on fencing, Ukrainian representative won bronze. This bronze is her first individual award in her career in the Championate of the World. Over the last week, in the combat area in the east of Ukraine, in the conflict zone in the east of Ukraine, Ukrainian military engineers cleared from explosive devices more than 9 hectares of land and disposed more than 450 explosive devices. Since the start of the anti-terrorist operation, military engineers cleared from mines and other explosive devices more than 3,100 hectares of land in the Donetsk and Lugansk regions. In the end, I would like to inform you that today, on July 25th, the press center of the Air Forces Command Center will organize a press tour for mass media in the units in Kyiv region. Mass media representatives can visit training flights, which will within patrol training exercises, and they also can visit one of air electric reconnaissance brigades to see military equipment that is currently used in the east of Ukraine. You can find more details on the official website of the ministry. This is all for today. Thank you.
Є запитання?
Do you have questions? You mentioned there was, this is Sergei Nagorny. You said about the visit of vessels from UK and from Turkey. And what can you say about expansion of cooperation? Something like Ukrolit Pole Break that successfully exists for several years now. Do you think we can do the same project with Turkey and maybe other countries? The idea of expansion of this project is being discussed because the Lit Polo Group Break has been successfully working for a long time already in this region. But at present, I cannot give you information whether Turkey will join the same project or there will be another multinational project. This is up to command to decide according to results of the ongoing discussions. If you have no more questions, the press conference is over.